Picture this: Las Vegas, 1965. A packed casino showroom, 2,800 people frozen in terror. On stage, Dean Martin, the smoothest crooner alive. In the front row, a mob enforcer with blood on his hands and murder in his eyes. The mobster slowly draws his finger across his throat, the universal sign for "you're dead." What Dean Martin does next will either make him a legend or a corpse. But before I tell you what happened, you need to understand one thing. In 1965 Vegas, crossing the mob wasn't brave, it was suicide. Listen closely, because this isn't your typical Vegas story. This is about the night the king of cool proved he had ice in his veins. Vegas in '65 wasn't today's family playground. Oh no, the mob didn't just run the casinos, they were the casinos. Every dice roll, every cocktail, every spotlight, it all answered to men who'd kill you for looking at them wrong. The Sands Hotel, Dean's regular gig, part owned by crime families. The Rat Pack, Dean, Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., they weren't just entertainers, they were the mob's personal jesters. The rule was simple: sing, smile, shut up, and never, ever disrespect the real bosses. But Dean Martin, he grew up in Steubenville, Ohio, a town where his dad's barber shop was a front for illegal gambling. Dean knew these men, he knew their rules, and on June 18, 1965, he was about to break every single one of them. 3 days before the showdown, a knock rattles Dean's dressing room door. The man in the expensive suit doesn't wait for an invitation. "Mr. Martin," he says coldly, "Vincent Antonelli wants to see you, tonight, after your show." Now let me tell you about Vincent Antonelli. This wasn't just any mobster. This was a man linked to a dozen murders, a man other killers called excessive. When Vincent Antonelli summoned you, you didn't walk, you ran. But Dean, he barely looks up from his magazine. "Tell Mr. Antonelli I'm pretty tired after shows these days. Maybe another time." The messenger's face hardens. Mr. Antonelli insists. Dean stands up, walks over, looks him dead in the eye. "Tell Mr. Antonelli that Dean Martin doesn't take meetings with people who send messengers. If he wants to talk, he can ask me himself, nicely." His assistant, Jackie, is shaking. "Dean, do you know who that was?" Dean shrugs. "I don't work for the mob, Jackie. I work for the Sands." Night 2, same messenger. Mr. Antonelli is waiting downstairs. Dean's taking off his bow tie. "Tell Mr. Antonelli I already left." "But you're right here." Dean smiles. "Am I? Could have sworn I left 10 minutes ago." Word spreads like wildfire through the casino. Vincent Antonelli is angry, very angry. Staff members whisper warnings. Dean's manager begs him to apologize. Turns out, Antonelli thinks Dean's been flirting with his girlfriend, a dancer at the Tropicana. Dean laughs. "I've never even met the girl." "Doesn't matter," his manager pleads. "Vincent believes it. Just apologize." But Dean's mind is made up. "I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do." Then comes June 18th, the night everything explodes. 8:30 p.m., Dean's assistant bursts in, face white as a sheet. "Dean, cancel the show. Vincent Antonelli bought out the first 3 rows, him and 20 of his guys. They're not here to watch you sing." Dean adjusts his bow tie in the mirror, calm as ever. "They paid for tickets, didn't they? That makes them audience members." 9 p.m., Dean walks on stage. The room crackles with tension. And there they are, 3 rows of stone-faced killers. Dead center, Vincent Antonelli. 250 pounds of pure menace, staring at Dean with eyes that could freeze hell. Dean starts his set. "Ain't that a kick in the head?" fills the room. The audience claps. The mobsters don't move. Thank you," Dean says smoothly, "though I notice some of you in the front seem a little quiet. Don't worry, I know it's hard to clap when your hands are busy." Nervous laughter ripples through the crowd. The mobsters don't even blink. Then, halfway through Memories Are Made of This, it happens. Antonelli reaches into his jacket. Dean's voice catches. "Is this it? Is this the gun?"
No, it's a cigarette. Antonelli lights it slowly, deliberately. Then he does it. He draws his finger slowly across his throat. The room gasps. The band stumbles to a stop. 2,800 people hold their breath. Dean Martin stands at center stage, looking straight at the man who just threatened to kill him. And then Dean smiles. Folks, we're going to take a little break from the program. See, this gentleman in the front row seems to have something to express. He walks to the edge of the stage. The audience tenses. This is it. This is where Dean Martin dies. But Dean, he kneels down, extends the microphone towards the most dangerous man in Vegas. Sir, you've been making gestures all night, so here's what I'm thinking. If you've got something to say, why don't you come up here and say it? In fact, why don't you sing? The silence is deafening. Everyone knows this is the moment Vincent Antonelli decides whether Dean Martin lives or dies. And then Vincent Antonelli starts to laugh. A cold, calculating laugh, but a laugh nonetheless. You got balls, Martin. I'll give you that. Dean grins. Is that a yes on the singing? Fair warning, the acoustics up here are pretty good. Antonelli shakes his head, still smiling that dangerous smile. You keep singing, Dean. That's what you're good at. You sure? The offer stands. I'm sure. Then, almost respectfully, keep doing your thing, Dean. You're all right. Dean stands, returns to center stage. Well, folks, looks like I'm finishing the show myself, but let's give a round of applause for my friend in the front row. Tough critic, but fair. The audience erupts. Antonelli raises his glass in a mock toast. After the show, Antonelli comes to Dean's dressing room, alone. Over scotch, the truth comes out. The girlfriend, she was seeing some other guy, already taken care of. You didn't scare when I did the throat thing. I don't scare easy. No, you don't. Antonelli extends his hand. We're good, Dean, you and me. Takes guts to stand your ground like that. They shake hands, and just like that, Dean Martin has done the impossible, earned a mob enforcer's respect by refusing to bow down. That night became Vegas legend. Dean Martin had faced down death itself with nothing but a microphone and pure courage. Years later, when Antonelli was killed in a mob hit, Dean said simply, he was tough but fair, in his way, a man of honor. When asked about that night, Dean always downplayed it, but those who were there knew better. They'd witnessed something extraordinary. The night the King of Cool proved that true courage isn't the absence of fear. It's offering a microphone to the man who wants to kill you and saying, your move. That's why Dean Martin wasn't just an entertainer, he was a legend. And on June 18, 1965, in front of 2,800 witnesses, he proved that sometimes the coolest thing you can do is refuse to run.